Coming up tonight on Business Live, growing dissatisfaction breeds government increase in the producer price of cocoa from 49,600 cedis per ton to 51,660 cedis per ton.
It's an increase. Let's say it is 3,000. It was 3,190, 3,200 and something that we are talking about. But are farmers happy with that price?
What's going to be the impact of this on the economy? While the increase deter or encourage smuggling? We shall be finding out on that with an economist pretty soon. Also in this bulletin, Governor of the Bank of Ghana assures of adequate supply to market demands as he and top officials from the central bank engage the Economic and Development Committee of Parliament, who will be engaging the ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee. Plus, President John Mahama urges ministries of Foreign Affairs, Interior and Transport to expedite the implementation of e-visa services for the country to enhance the ease of travel and support the growth of businesses.
Directing the honorable ministers responsible for Interior, Transport and Foreign Affairs to collaborate to ensure that this platform is expanded to enable us quickly implement the long-awaited e-visa services for the country.
We have details of these and more for you. Please stay on. Thanks so much for your company. I am Pius Kojobaka. Looking at our stories. Growing dissatisfaction greets government's increase in the producer price of cocoa from cocoa farmers effective August 7. Now, government today approved the significant increase in the producer price of cocoa from 49,600 cedis per ton to 51,660 cedis per ton. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen made the announcement after a meeting with the Producer Price Review Committee. He explained that the renewed price represents 62.58% increase in US dollar terms and aligns with President John Mahama's pledge to ensure cocoa farmers receive 70% of the Free on Board initiative. More in this report.
The new price, which takes effect from Thursday, August 7, 2025, comes on the back of a 40% appreciation of the Cedi against the dollar since January to date and the continuous fall in inflation. The Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen, disclosed this after a meeting with the Producer Price Review Committee. He added that the move reflects government's commitment to improving the livelihoods of cocoa farmers.
For the 2025-2026 season, which opens on Thursday, 7th August 2025. Subsequently, government is pleased to announce an increase in the producer price of cocoa from $3,100 US per ton to $5,040 per ton.
He also announced the reintroduction of the free cocoa fertilizer program and the provision of logistics to cushion farmers for the upcoming crop season.
I am pleased to announce that President John Mahama's administration has reintroduced the free cocoa fertilizer program as an additional support to the Ghanaian cocoa farmer, beginning 2025-2026 crop season this year. Beginning this crop year, President Mahama's administration will supply the following for you for free. Free cocoa fertilizer, both liquid and granular. Free insecticides, free spraying machines, free fungicides, and free flower inducers to the cocoa farmer. Government strongly advises cocoa farmers to apply these inputs solely for the purpose of improving your cocoa yields and income. Please don't smuggle them.
At the press conference, it was revealed that Cocoa Board will roll out the Ghana Cocoa Traceability System, expected to track cocoa produced in the country from the farm gate to the port. The system will enable Ghana to supply cocoa that is deforestation-free, child labor-free, and compliant with EU regulations. From the Finance Ministry, Isaac Atasenyako.
But responding to the announcement, President of the concerned Cocoa Farmers Association, Farmer General Nana Obuade Boatimbonso II, expressed dissatisfaction with the increase, saying it is minimal.
It is well shocking, and then it is well, I call it a disgrace on the side of Member of Parliament, and then with the side of appointees and the civil servant working with Cocoa Board. Because one, the president has not been told the truth. And then I remember that we did a roundtable discussion on Joy, the same platform, and then I told the presidential aide or maybe the spokesperson that there's something that the president has to know, and up to now he has not even told the president about it. This shows you that cocoa is not a backbone of our economy. And anybody that says that cocoa is the backbone of our economy, it is a lie because Parliament don't even recognize that. Well, why am I saying all these things? It is the price has been increased. Let's say it is 30,000. It was 3,190, 3,200, and something that we are talking about. But are farmers happy with that price? Too, the government have done well because looking at the exchange rate, by all means, the dollar has reduced and the cedi now has gained strength. But we are farmers. We are working for interest. Nobody wants to work for loss. And even member of parliament some years back were screaming and then wanted to stage a demonstration because their salary or whatever has been reduced or they are not even getting it. What about we that we are making the economy booming?
Let's explore the impact of this on the larger economy. Joining us via Zoom for a conversation is economist Professor Patrick Esuming. Thank you so much, sir, for making time to join us here on Business Live. First off, how significant is this increase, despite concerns, like you heard from the farmers, saying, well, it is minimal?
Good evening, and good evening to viewers. Thanks for having me. So I think, obviously, if you look at the dollar amount increasing from 3,100 to just over 5,000, it seems quite substantial. It's more than 50% increase. That sounds like huge. Now, as it turns out, the current circumstances, and given where the cedi is against the dollar, and then when you work it out and it comes to only 3,200 or just thereabout, compare it to where it was before, then suddenly the average farmer will see that, well, no, there's not much in it for me. And I think that's the farmer who spoke, that's the kind of dissatisfaction that he expressed. Because from their point of view, what they care about is what they are receiving. So whether we are receiving 60+% of the world price or not, I mean, at this moment, it wouldn't mean much. But that could change if the cedi strength against the dollar changes. Then that could easily change. But I think from their point of view, you can say you've increased the dollar price by whatever percentage. From as far as they are concerned, this will be very minimal.
And are you also concerned about why government is quoting the price in dollar compared to what the normal has been over the period?
I mean, if I'm being cynical, I would say if they say they've increased the cedi price from what 3,100 to 3,200, that sounds like nothing. So from that point of view, no, you don't want to. You want to put your best foot forward and say, well, in dollar terms, we've increased it substantially.
So politics coming to play now.
Sorry?
I'm saying politics is being played here.
Yeah, well, of course, because I think, but it's not just the politics. Remember that they have communicated to the IMF also that they are going to keep the producer price in the 60 to 70% range of the market, the world market price. So when they quote it like this, and you quote the percentage, and obviously you know that they are keeping within that range. So I think from that point of view, you see why it's being quoted in dollars.
I see. Let's make progress. Some have argued that this increase will, if care is not taken really, might increase smuggling. That is, if Ivory Coast increases their price, and I know what you make of that, but realistically, how can we guard against that?
Well, I think as long as there's a price differential, the incentive is always there. If the Ivorians announce a price and there's a substantial difference, then the incentive to smuggle will even increase. The question is whether we are going to be able to keep tighten our borders to prevent the smuggling. So the incentive will be there. If there's a price difference, the incentive will be there. The question is, can we prevent it? And it appears that when it comes to that, the farmers and those on the border, they seem to be ahead of the state in terms of keeping the borders or preventing people from smuggling. But if they announce and there's a price differential, trust me, the incentive to smuggle will be much stronger.
Which we want to fight. How can we guard against that?
Well, I think, it's it's a difficult situation. I think at the end of the day, the primary reason why we are where we are is the Cedi exchange rate. And I think if farmers saw that, look, conditions have improved, and don't forget that the finance minister also announced some other measures, including providing fertilizer and spraying equipment and other things. So it comes down to how the farmers see this. If the farmers perceive that the government has done its part and is committed enough, perhaps they will look at that element. But at the end of the day, from the bottom line is how much am I getting versus how much could I be getting elsewhere. So I think if the economy is seen to be working, and if their contribution, the person who spoke was very clear about the value that the cocoa is contributing. So in some sense, perhaps there could be some other non-financial things that the government can do for the cocoa farmers to say, look, yes, we probably didn't get as much Cedi increase, but we are getting other things that are also helping ease our condition. Maybe if you look at that, then maybe they might decide that, let's be more patriotic and try not to smuggle. But at the end of the day, the government should also be able to, we have to be able to strengthen our borders either way, whether it is cocoa or not. So many things get smuggled. So on that score, we have to strengthen what happens on our borders and to prevent, to minimize the smuggling.
Professor Patrick Esuming, thank you so much for making time to speak to us here on Business Live. I'm truly grateful for speaking to us. Now, let's shift focus to one of our leading stories we have for you. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, has assured that it has adequate dollars to meet demand. The governor gave this assurance when he and top officials of the central bank engaged the Economy and Development Committee of Parliament today. Here's Governor Isiama speaking to journalists after the meeting.
The reports of shortage in Forex, were you able to address those to the satisfaction of the MPs?
Yes, we did. I'm sure the committee will speak to you about the deliberations. Our mandate is actually given us by Parliament. The law that we operate with is an act of Parliament. So it's good for us to interact with Parliament, we share ideas, and see how to, do our work better. So it's been a very useful interaction with them. No, it's a requirement under our law. Every half year, we are required to brief, Parliament. And so that's exactly what we have done. It's not a bother at all.
Okay, so let's engage the ranking on the Economic Development Committee, Kojo Nkrumah. He's joined us via Zoom. Kojo, thank you so much for joining us here on Business Live. And even before we touch on the subject matter, as the ranking member on the Economic Development Committee, what's your view on the increase in the producer price increase of cocoa from 49,600 cedis per ton to 51,660 cedis per ton?
So thank you. Good evening to your viewers, and thank you for the opportunity. I think we should be careful not to repeat the propaganda lines of the government, because often when the government wants to hide something, they mask it with some propaganda lines. You notice that for the first time, they are quoting the price increase in dollars. Why? Because they want to hide the real increase. The real increase is 4%. It's moved from about 3,100 Ghana cedis per bag to 3,228 cedis per bag. That is the truth. That is what the farmers are going to see whenever one of the purchasing clerks shows up to buy a bag of cocoa. And the farmers are going to be comparing that to the historical records. Last year, there was an increase of about 124% in the farm gate price per bag. The year before, an increase of about 72%. The year before, about 21%. The year before, about 28%. So if after making all these lofty promises and putting out a framework, you remember the NDC in opposition put out a framework that farmers were supposed to get about 70% of the peak price. If after putting out all that framework, today you come to power, you are not using that framework, you are not even using your own exchange rates, this is a scam on the farmers of this country. And I think nobody should fall for the propaganda lines that want to mask it. Right. In any case, why are they quoting it in dollars? Remember a few days ago, the finance minister told Parliament
that the president had instructed that contracts in Ghana should not be quoted in dollars. What has happened all of a sudden that a few days down the line, he's now quoting cocoa price increases, which are bought and sold by cocoa farmers here in Ghana in dollars. Are people beginning to see the hypocrisy now? So I think it's clear that this government has just scammed cocoa farmers. They told us that 70% of the FOB price is what is required. Today, if you work it, that should be about $8,040. And now that $8,040, it comes to about $502 per bag. And if you use the exchange rate that is currently prevailing, you should be doing about 5,100 cedis per bag. First of all, they have now taken it to about 5,040, though they claim is about 70%. So per bag is 315. And they are not even using their own exchange rate. Today's exchange rate is about 10.5. They are using 10.25, shortchanging the Ghanaian farmer.
Let's make progress.
It's a difference of about 128 Ghana cedis. So I conclude by saying that the Ghanaian farmer has been scammed. And as was mentioned some time ago, the real colors of the umbrella are beginning to show.
All right, let's make progress, Kojo. And now, to our substantive matter, you had an engagement with the governor and, of course, officials at the central bank. Are you satisfied with the assurance given from the governor when it comes to dollar supply and issues about shortage?
I don't think anybody can be satisfied with the assurances given. The governor and his team, first of all, I commend them for appearing before Parliament and before our committee to provide the full breadth of data sets and information available to them. I think first they admitted that they cannot oppose the IMF's claim that in the first quarter of the year, they supported the market with about $1.4 billion. And I put it to them that by half year, they had done more than 2 billion injection into the market to support the cedi. They cannot deny that level of significant injection. They, however, say that because of the improved external sector, they expect that there will be a lot more dollars available to the commercial banks, either through their operations here in Ghana, which you will see in their net operation positions at the end of every day, or through the balances on their nostro accounts. However, they have had to come in to intervene. The official number from the IMF is about 1.4 billion. We are projecting that they've done more than 2 billion by at the end of June. This is even conservative estimates. The governor and the team concede that what they have to do is to examine the net operating positions of the banks here in Ghana and their nostro accounts to see if indeed there are dollars available, so there's enough supply that is being hoarded by the banks. Or if indeed, as the traders are saying, there's a shortage. Because the traders are telling us that they file all their paperwork, but they don't get the dollars. And that's why we keep saying that Governor Siama will have the rate, but the Abuchi will have the dollar at the end of the day. Now, the traders are saying they don't get the dollars because the dollar is short. The central bank is saying that they believe the dollar is not short, yet they acknowledge that they've had to intervene by, a little north of $2 billion. And so he's asked for some time that the data will come in. They can examine that data and they'll know what the real situation is. Based on that, I don't think anybody can quickly wash away and go home with assurances.
All right, that's
we have to wait later and then we can see.
All right, let's talk about the cedi. What did he have to say about the sustainability of the cedi and what were some of the reasons he is given so far and whether we can achieve that stability we are looking at?
So one, the governor and his team considered that our cedi has performed primarily because the external sector has been very strong. Gold prices have gone up by about 43%, though the volumes of gold exports have not even doubled in the first half of this year. Cocoa prices have gone up by about 97%, and volumes have also gone up significantly based on cocoa that was grown and harvested the previous year. On the petroleum side, there's been a little bit of a downtrend, but it is mostly because the external sector has performed so well, and that has made a lot more Forex available to the commercial banks and to the central bank. Secondly, the central bank has therefore now had to intervene minimum $1.4 billion. Now we're estimating a little over $2 billion to support anytime there are, may I say, undersupply levels on the market.
All right.
But the central bank itself is clear that it's sustainable. And so what they've decided to do is to begin to hedge about 1/3 of our gold reserves. That, by my calculation, is about 1/9 of our total reserves that they want to hedge, so that when the prices don't stay where they are, we will still have some Forex with which we can then show up our reserves and intervene in the market as and when need be.
Did you get an opportunity to ask the governor to clarify basically whether there was indeed gold for oil program?
Yes, we put that direct question to the governor. He referred it to the team that handled the gold for oil. And on the record, the Bank of Ghana admitted that $1.7 billion of oil imports was financed through the gold for oil program. So it goes totally against the finance minister's claim that there was no gold for oil program and that there was even no barter. They even gave us the portion of that 1.7 billion that was financed from raw barter, and then the other portions that were financed by an exchange of the gold for Forex, which was used. But on the record, the Bank of Ghana told us $1.7 billion worth of oil cargo financed with the gold for oil program.
Ranking on the Economy and Development Committee of Parliament, Kojo Nkrumah, thank you so much for joining us here on Business Live. I truly appreciate your time. Still watching Business Live. Let's pause for a breather. Be right back. Welcome back to Business Live. President John Mahama has urged the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Interior and Transport to expedite implementation of the e-visa services for the country. Here's a report.
The Advanced Passenger Information and Passenger Name Record Operations Center will streamline passenger data collection for enhanced security and operational efficiency. President John Mahama tasked these ministries to collaborate closely to accelerate the implementation of the e-visa framework.
Ladies and gentlemen, the introduction of the API and PNR systems provides a strong digital platform on which other critical services can be integrated. And that's why I'm directing the honorable ministers responsible for Interior, Transport, and Foreign Affairs to collaborate to ensure that this platform is expanded to enable us quickly implement the long-awaited e-visa services for the country. I'm charging them to extend this system to cover both the sea and land border posts, integration with our e-gate systems, and the adoption of the capabilities to extend to perform the advanced cargo information system, also for the benefits of our customs. These policy directives will ensure the country enjoys the full benefits of what we are witnessing today.
Transport Minister Joseph Bukari Nikwe reaffirmed government commitment to advancing the aviation sector.
Excellency, Ghana's civil aviation industry is showing a great resilience and consistent growth as a result of government continued support for the sector. As much as government work to create a vibrant, safe, and secure aviation industry, it also behoves on us to work hard to complement the efforts by government. And in this case, Acting Director General and staff and management, we want to charge you to ensure that you put these facilities to good use, and that will.
That's our package by way of Business Life. I am Pius Kojo Baka, always a delight serving you.